Only 1% of elite dark chosen ones can touch these 7 shadow demonic vibrations. You're about to enter a realm that only a few ever truly reach, fewer still survive it intact. This is not for the light seekers who want comfort, nor for the spiritual tourists who want to chant a mantra and call it transformation. No, this is for the ones who are willing to go so deep into the void that they stop trying to escape it. The ones who realize that the true path to power doesn't lie in escaping darkness, it lies in mastering it. And that's why this is called what it is. Only 1% of elite dark chosen ones can touch these 7 shadow demonic vibrations. Because these are not just energies. They are frequencies so ancient, so primal, so raw, that most people's spiritual nervous systems would collapse just trying to feel them. But if you can face them, if you can integrate them without becoming possessed by them, then you don't just survive the dark. You command it. Let me make this clear, these demonic vibrations are not inherently evil. They are neutral. They are power, stripped of morality, stripped of human conditioning. They are forces of nature, wild, chaotic, untamed. And the reason only 1% can touch them is because the other 99% are still trying to be good, still trying to be acceptable, still trying to be holy in a way that's been sterilized by fear. But the elite, the truly called, know that true holiness includes the dark, not as a threat, but as a teacher. And these 7 vibrations, they are the syllabus of that teaching. They are trials, initiations, and they're not asking you to believe in them. They're asking you to survive them.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
The first vibration is ancestral fury. This is not your anger. This is the rage of bloodlines, of generations who were silenced, enslaved, erased. It is the vibration of unresolved karmic screams that echo through your DNA, waiting for someone strong enough to feel them without flinching. Most people suppress this vibration because it terrifies them. It doesn't speak in logic. It doesn't ask permission. It roars. And if you do not have the spiritual maturity to hold it without being consumed by it, it will possess you. But if you can hold it, if you can breathe with it, dance with it, and let it move through you like fire through a forest, then it will burn away every inherited limitation you've ever carried. Because this vibration doesn't just destroy, it purifies. It turns you into a vessel, not just for healing yourself, but for healing every ancestor behind you. But again, only 1% can do this. Most can't handle the fire, they try to turn it off. But you must choose to let it cook you. The second vibration is sacrificial desire. This is not lust in the way you've been told. It's not carnal indulgence. It's the magnetic pull of energy that is willing to obliterate itself for union. It's the dark sacredness of wanting something so fully that you're willing to die into it. This is the vibration that the mystics touched when they spoke of divine ecstasy. But make no mistake, it's not gentle. It will strip you bare. It will ask you, what are you truly willing to give up for what your soul longs for? And most people, they want blessings without bleeding. But the elite know sacrifice is the currency of real power. Not suffering for the sake of it, but choosing to let go of parts of yourself that cannot coexist with your calling. This vibration is dangerous in the hands of the uninitiated, but it can become addiction, obsession, manipulation. But in the hands of those who have done the inner work, it becomes sacred fuel, the kind that can bend timelines and collapse illusions. the kind that reshapes destiny. The third is void seduction. This one is subtle. It doesn't scream, it whispers. It's the part of you that wants to disappear, that wants to dissolve into nothingness. It's the vibration that pulls monks into caves for 20 years. It's the siren song of oblivion, and it's seductive because it feels like peace. But it's not peace, it's emptiness. And until you can stand in the void without trying to escape it, without trying to fill it with meaning, identity, achievement, then even spirituality, you are not ready to wield this power. Because the void is not a place. It's a frequency. It strips language, it disintegrates ego. And if you resist it, it will feel like madness. But if you surrender to it, truly surrender, you will discover something no book, no guru, no religion can give you: primordial truth. Not a truth you read, but a truth you become. That's why only 1% can go there. Because the other 99% are still addicted to being somebody. But you must be willing to become nobody. The fourth vibration is predatory stillness. This one will mess with you, because it's the opposite of what you think spiritual power looks like. It's not movement, it's not fire, it's not love. It's stillness, but not the peaceful kind. It's the stillness of a jaguar right before it strikes. It's the stillness that holds nuclear power. It's the stillness of knowing your energy is so potent you don't need to chase, prove, or perform. And when you embody this, others feel it. They don't know why, but they feel it. You say less, you do less, but somehow your presence becomes louder. This is the vibration that makes demons retreat without you lifting a finger. But here's the catch: to embody this, you must have mastered the first three. Because predatory stillness without integration becomes narcissism. But when it's aligned, it becomes sovereignty. And sovereignty is the one thing darkness cannot mimic. So I ask you, how much of yourself are you still hiding from just to be liked, just to be acceptable, just to be seen as light? And what would happen if you let that version die publicly, completely, with no promise of resurrection? The next three vibrations take everything we've just explored and stretch it even further. They're not just about survival, they're about transformation at the atomic level. And if you're still here, still breathing, still willing, then you're not just watching a video anymore. You're stepping into a real initiation, becoming the forbidden, why the final three vibrations break the laws of ordinary spirituality. If you've made it this far, you've already passed through realms that most never even dare to look at. You've touched the edge of ancestral fury, sacrificed your illusions to desire, dissolved in the void, and sat still in the predator's breath. But now we cross the line most traditions won't even acknowledge exists. This is where even the sacred texts go silent. These last three shadow demonic vibrations don't just challenge your identity, they threaten to recode your existence. They don't play by human rules. They don't follow the arc of karma, grace, or even love. These vibrations are forbidden not because they're evil, but because they dismantle the very structures that keep most people safe in religion, in society, and even in most forms of spirituality. But you're not here to be safe. You're here to be real. And realness means stepping beyond the boundaries of ordinary awakening and into the final frontier, becoming the forbidden. The fifth vibration is divine madness. This is not chaos for the sake of chaos. This is the madness that comes when you see too much, too fast, too deep. When the veil between worlds doesn't just lift, it shatters. Divine madness is the vibration that mystics experience when they realize the gods are not who we thought they were. That language is a lie, that time is an illusion, and that the self is just a temporary echo of something far more eternal. It's the vibration that hits you when logic collapses and the only thing left is direct knowing. But this kind of knowing cannot be integrated by the rational mind. It will short-circuit you if you're not grounded. This is why so many spiritual geniuses have walked the line between enlightenment and insanity, because divine madness will break you. It will strip you of all your spiritual pride, your philosophical conclusions, your carefully curated beliefs. And it will offer you nothing in return, just a mirror, infinite, empty, and yet full of potential. Most reject it. They want their awakening to make sense. But the elite, we learn to dance with it, to let madness become music, to let paradox become power. Because when you can laugh in the face of the void while still holding love in your heart, you become something that no system can enslave. The sixth vibration is forbidden creation. This is where we really break the rules. Because this power is the ability to create reality from outside the permission of the collective mind. This is not manifestation. This is not ask, believe, receive. This is command from a place so deep within the quantum field that you don't ask reality to shift, you bend it. But here's the cost. To access this, you must be willing to be misunderstood, ridiculed, exiled. Because the moment you start creating outside the rules, the matrix will try to delete you. Not physically, but energetically. It will try to erase your frequency by overwhelming you with doubt, distraction, and disconnection. Why? Because this vibration doesn't just change your life, it threatens the structure of reality as the collective has agreed upon it. But if you can hold your vision in the face of silence, if you can create without needing permission, without needing proof, without needing pros, you become dangerous. Because now your will is aligned with Source, and Source doesn't negotiate. It moves through you, as you. And finally, the seventh vibration, the rarest, the most feared, the one that even the ancient initiates whispered about in closed temples. It is called sacred sovereign darkness. This is not the absence of light, but this is the womb before light, the infinite feminine void that gives birth to stars not by force, but by presence. This is the vibration of the black flame, the inner light that does not burn with fire, but with knowing. The kind of knowing that doesn't need to explain itself. This darkness is not evil, it is origin. It is the silence before the word. And to embody this vibration is to walk through the world as a living paradox. You appear calm, but you hold storms behind your eyes. You look human, but your frequency disrupts timelines. You speak gently, but every word rearranges the energy field of those who hear you. Why? Because sacred sovereign darkness is the vibration of the unshakable self, the self that is no longer performing, no longer pleasing, no longer proving, just being in total, embodied, unapologetic divinity. But here's the warning, this power will cost you everything that is not real. You will lose friends. You will lose versions of yourself. You will lose your place in the systems that once made you feel safe. Because this vibration doesn't integrate with the old world, it rewrites it. And in doing so, it isolates you, but it also frees you. And that freedom? That's what makes you one of the 1%. Not because you're better, but because you were willing to walk where others refused, into the forbidden, into the terrifying, into the true. So I ask you now, with no hype, no drama, just absolute clarity. Are you willing to be erased by the old world in order to be born into the one your soul came here to create? Because if not, stop here. This path is not for the curious. It's for the called. But if you're still here, still listening, still burning with that quiet fire in your chest, then the next phase isn't about discovery anymore. It's about embodiment. You've touched the vibrations. Now it's time to become them. Living as the 1%, how to embody the forbidden frequencies without losing your humanity. To walk as one who has touched the forbidden, who has integrated the 7 shadow demonic vibrations, is not a badge you wear, it's a burden you carry with grace. Because make no mistake, this path is not about power for the sake of power. It's about responsibility. When you hold frequencies that most people cannot even perceive without trembling, you don't get to hide behind the mask of spiritual performance anymore. You become the embodiment of a deeper truth. A truth that doesn't always fit into the light and love narrative. A truth that doesn't always offer comfort. A truth that burns away illusions like the sun at high noon. And the challenge now is this: how do you remain human with a heart, with love, with empathy, while holding a frequency that can collapse timelines and rewrite realities? This is the paradox of the 1%. We walk between worlds. We carry frequencies that can melt ego structures, but we still cry when we lose someone we love. We can see through people's masks instantly, but we still choose to listen with compassion. We can hold the silence of the void and still laugh at a stupid joke. That's the secret most don't understand. True mastery of these vibrations does not make you less human. It makes you more embodied, more present, more alive, because you're no longer wasting energy pretending. You're no longer performing for approval. You're no longer filtering your truth to keep others comfortable. You've become integrated. And that integration means you can hold both love and rage, both stillness and fire, both divinity and desire, without being torn apart. But the temptations are real. When you hold this kind of power, 3 shadows will try to reclaim you. The first is isolation. You'll feel the gap between you and the world widen. Not because you're better, but because you see more. You'll notice manipulation in casual conversations, energetic chords in hugs, unconscious agreements in every social script. And you'll be tempted to retreat, to disappear, to say, "No one gets me anymore." But that's a trap, because your power wasn't given to you so you could escape the world. It was given so you could serve it without being enslaved by it. So you must find a way to stay connected not to their illusions, but to their essence. Speak to the soul beneath the mask. Love the being beneath the programming. That's how you stay human. The second temptation is control. Once you realize you can influence energy, bend perception, shift outcomes, you'll be tempted to use it to get what your ego still wants: validation, dominance, safety. But that path leads to corruption, because the moment you use these frequencies to manipulate rather than liberate, you lose the very essence that made you chosen. So you must train yourself to ask better questions. Not how can I get what I want, but what does my soul want to create? Not how can I make them see my value, but how can I reflect their forgotten light back to them? That's how you become a force of evolution, not a mirror of spiritual tyranny. The third temptation is transcendence. You'll feel so expanded, so beyond the ordinary, that you'll want to leave your body behind. You'll want to live in the upper chakras, in visions, in downloads, in cosmic truths. But remember, you came here to be human, not to escape it. Your body is not a prison, it's the altar. And every sacred vibration you've integrated must be anchored through flesh, through breath, through tears, through touch. That's the final test. Can you be cosmic and carnal? Can you hold the void and still kiss the earth? Can you speak galactic codes and still make your lover feel safe in your arms? Because that's what living as the 1% really means. It means you've proven yourself not just in the unseen, but in the seen. Not just in meditation, but in conflict. Not just in ritual, but in relationship. You're not here to float above the world. You're here to recode it, one embodied moment at a time, through how you speak, how you walk, how you say no, how you forgive, how you stand firm in your truth without needing to crush anyone else's. And so I ask you now, not as a guru, not as a teacher, but as a mirror. Are you willing to be misunderstood by the world if it means being fully aligned with your soul? Because that is the cost of embodiment, and also the reward. Then, if you are, then your life becomes the ritual, your breath becomes the mantra, your presence becomes the transmission, and people will feel it. They won't know why, but they'll feel different around you. Safer, sharper, more awake. That's the ripple effect of walking as the 1%. You don't preach it, you radiate it. And in doing so, you become not just a channel of the sacred, but a creator of it. The final hour, how to guard your frequency and become untouchable in the age of energetic warfare. Now we arrive at the final hour, not just of this message, but of a deeper initiation that's been unfolding inside you since the moment you first felt something stir in your soul. You may not have had language for it. You may not have known what it meant. But you knew. You sensed that something unseen was watching, calling, testing. And now you understand why. Because you were never meant to live as a passive participant in this world. You were meant to become a guardian of frequency, not just your own, but of something far greater. A living code. A walking transmission. A protector of a higher possibility at a time when the world is collapsing under the weight of its own illusions. We are in an era of energetic warfare. That's not a metaphor, it's a fact. Every day your energy is being pulled, poked, seduced, and siphoned. Not always by people with bad intentions, but often by systems, unconscious agreements, ancestral programming, and collective fear that wants to keep you small, silent, sedated. And if you don't know how to guard your frequency, you will spend your life leaking power, chasing clarity, and wondering why your spiritual breakthroughs never last. Because awakening is only the beginning. The real work is maintenance. The real transformation happens in the quiet moments when no one is watching how you breathe when you're triggered, how you speak to yourself when you fail, how you hold your boundaries when your nervous system is screaming to collapse. Guarding your frequency means becoming ruthless with your energy, but not from fear, from reverence. It means you don't offer explanations for your evolution. You don't negotiate your no. You don't entertain frequencies that drain you just because they wear a friendly face. You start treating your attention like sacred fire, because it is. And wherever your attention goes, your life force follows. So ask yourself right now, what is stealing your attention that no longer deserves your energy? And are you brave enough to take it back, to become untouchable doesn't mean you never feel pain. It means you stop collapsing under it. It doesn't mean you avoid the dark. It means you no longer fear it. You've walked through the shadow, held sacred rage, dissolved into void, and returned. And that return means you now carry a different vibration, not one of survival, but of sovereignty. And sovereignty is incompatible with victimhood. It doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't beg for validation. It doesn't outsource its worth to anyone or anything. But here's the final truth. The higher your frequency rises, the more invisible you will become to the systems that operate in fear. They simply won't know how to find you. You'll be in the room, but untouched. You'll hear the noise, but remain clear. This is not spiritual bypass, it's spiritual mastery. You're not avoiding the world. You're vibrating beyond its reach. And when you reach this level, your very presence becomes a form of protection. Your aura becomes a firewall. Your body becomes a conduit. Your silence becomes a weapon. You don't need to defend your energy anymore. Your energy defends itself. But to stay here, to live here, you must make your inner world your highest priority. Not sometimes, constantly. You must nourish yourself with the kind of discipline that looks like devotion. You must fast from energies that cloud your clarity, no matter how addictive they feel. You must choose peace over performance, truth over popularity, evolution over comfort, every single day, because this is not a single choice. It's a lifestyle. And that lifestyle is what makes you untouchable, not because you're above the world, but because you are aligned with something deeper than it. So I ask you one last time, what would your life look like if you treated your frequency as the most valuable currency in existence? Because it is. And the moment you live that truth, not speak it, not post it, but live it, you'll become something the world can no longer define. You'll become a mirror for those ready to awaken, a trigger for those still asleep, a mystery to those who only see with their eyes. And most of all, you'll become free. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Forever. You've crossed the threshold. You've remembered what you are. Now live like it.